The photograph is in my hand. It is the photograph of a man and a woman. They are at an amusement park in 1959. In 12 seconds' time, I drop the photograph to the sand at my feet, walking away. It's already lying there, 12 seconds into the future. 10 seconds now. The photograph is in my hand. I found it in a derelict bar at the Gila Flats test base 27 hours ago. It's still there, 27 hours into the past. In its frame, in the darkened bar, I'm still there, looking at it. The photograph is in my hand. The woman takes a piece of popcorn between thumb and forefinger. The Ferris wheel pauses. 7 seconds now. It's October 1985. I'm on Mars. It's July 1959. I'm in New Jersey at the Palisades Amusement Park. 4 seconds. 3. I'm tired of looking at the photograph now. I open my fingers. It falls to the sand at my feet. I'm going to look at the stars. They are so far away, and their light takes so long to reach us. All we ever see of stars are their old photographs. I am 227 million kilometers from the sun. Its light is already 10 minutes old. It will not reach Pluto for another 2 hours. 2 hours into my future, I observe meteorites from a glass balcony, thinking about my father. 12 seconds into my past, I open my fingers. The photograph is falling. I am watching the stars. Halley's Comet tumbles through the solar system on its great 76-year ellipse. My father admired the sky for its precision. He repaired watches. It's 1945. I sit in a Brooklyn kitchen, fascinated by an arrangement of cogs on black velvet. I am 16 years old. It is 1985. I am on Mars. I am 56 years old. The photograph lies at my feet, falls from my fingers, is in my hand. I am watching the stars, admiring their complex trajectories through space, through time. I am trying to give a name to the force that set them in motion. It is August 7th, 1945. The Brooklyn morning is humid and the fire escape door has been left open. John, where are you? In here. I'm practicing on your old pocket watch. Forget pocket watches. Have you seen the news? News? They dropped the atomic bomb on Japan. A whole city gone. This changes everything. There will be more bombs. They are the future. Father, what are you doing? I'm doing what is best for you. This atomic science, this is what the world will need, not pocket watches. Hey, give me that back. Professor Einstein says the time differs from place to place. Can you imagine? If time is not true, what purpose have watchmakers, hein? Wait, don't! My son must have a future. Father, no! 40 years ago, cogs rain on Brooklyn. 115 minutes into the future, the meteorites hail down through the rarefied atmosphere of Mars. It is 1948, and I am arriving at Princeton University. It is 1958, and I am graduating with a PhD in atomic physics. The cogs are falling. It's May 12th, 1959, my first day at Gila Flats. Professor Glass is shaking my hand, asking Wally Weaver to show me around. I'm 30 years old. So you're this new guy from Princeton we heard about, huh? Say, wasn't Einstein at Princeton? Not while I was. Heard him lecture once, though. Gee, that must have been something. You know, I heard he argued with his wife. Crazy, huh? A guy like that, a genius. Even he couldn't figure women. Well, I guess he's just human like everybody else. This is where they're doing the intrinsic field experiments. It's like, what if there's some field holding stuff together, apart from gravity? And this? This is our time-lock test vault, so that when they're trying to separate objects from their intrinsic fields, no radiation gets out. Come on, I'll show you where the real heavy-duty thinking gets done around here. We call it the bestiary. Wally steers me from the Arizona sunlight into the crowded bar. There's a sudden sensation of déjà vu. I've seen this place before. Janie Slater, meet John Osterman. John's from Princeton. Oh, the new guy. You're replacing Hank Meadows, right? I am. I guess so. Hank died last fall, some kind of tumor. There's his picture behind the bar there, the guy with the glasses. Can I get you a drink? She buys me a beer, the first time a woman has ever done this for me. As she passes me the cold, perspiring glass, our fingers touch. It's 1963. We're making love after an argument. It's 1966, and she's packing, tearful, careless with anger. It's July 1959. I'm returning to New Jersey on vacation. Janie shares the trip from Arizona. Her mother lives in Jersey. She calls home from the station, but nobody answers. We visit the amusement park, killing time until her mother returns. Hey, young lovers, hold it. But we're not. By the shooting gallery, Janie's watch band snaps. Before I can pick it up, a fat man steps upon it. I tell her I can fix it. Her mother still isn't answering. We decide to call again from my hotel. We both know what's going to happen. Events mesh together with soft precision. It's 1959. A pulse flutters in her belly, beneath my cheek. It's 1966. The suitcase won't shut and she's crying. It's 1985. In 100 minutes, the meteorite shower begins. It's August 1959. We've been back from Jersey a month. In my future, the accident is waiting for me. John, did you fix my watch yet? Yes. I left it in my lab coat when we were resetting the IF chamber this morning. The accident is almost upon me now. The door slams behind her. There's something in my pocket. I take it out to examine. Good as new. The air grows too warm too quickly. I want very much for a beautiful woman to hand me a glass of very cold beer. All the atoms in the test chamber are screaming at once. The light is taking me to pieces. It's September. A token funeral service is being held. There's nothing to bury. It's October. Janie places our Jersey snapshot behind glass in the bestiary. It's the only photograph of me anyone has. It's November. Did you read about this communist guy who's running Cuba? This Castro? I thought I'd just about seen it all. It's November 10th now. There's a circulatory system walking through the kitchen. November 14th. Really, it's just a question of reassembling the components in the correct sequence. It's November 22nd. Something's haunting us. Oh, holy God, will you look at that? John? It's October 1985. I'm basking in the 2-million-year-old light of Andromeda. I can see the supernova that Ernst Hartwig discovered in 1885, a century ago. It scintillates, A wink intended for the trilobites, all long dead. Supernovas are where gold forms, the only place. All gold comes from supernovas. It's Christmas 1959. Do you like it? I like it very much. Its atomic structure is a perfect grid, like a checkerboard. It's... Janie, what's up? Are you cold? I can raise the temperature. No, I'm not cold. I'm scared. Of me? No. Yes. Oh, God. Look, I'm just scared because everything feels weird. It's as if everything's changed, not just you, everything. I mean, I don't know what you are. Nobody does. They say you can do anything, John. They say you're like God now. I don't think there is a God, Janie. If there is, I'm not him. I'm still the same person. Nothing's changed. I still want you. I'll always want you. As I lie, I hear her shouting at me in 1963, sobbing in 1966. My fingers open. The photograph is falling. It's February 1960, and everything is frozen. I am starting to accept that I shall never feel cold or warm again. Perfect! When we go public next month, every magazine in the world's gonna want these pictures. How do you like your costume? Pretty slick, huh? I don't like it, especially this helmet. What's this symbol stand for? Ah, well, it means like atoms, atomic power, like that. It's meaningless. A hydrogen atom would be more appropriate. I don't think I shall be wearing this. The marketing boys say you need a symbol. If I'm to have a symbol, it shall be one I respect. There. Yeah, that's good. People will remember it. When they see it, they'll think of Dr. Manhattan. Dr. what? They're shaping me into something gaudy and lethal. It's all getting out of my hands. We repeat, the Superman exists, and he's American. According to Pentagon sources, this astonishing individual can control atomic structure itself. There has been no response from the Kremlin as of this time. The superhuman, codenamed Dr. Manhattan, has not spoken to the press. Instead, we asked those costumed vigilantes remaining from the 1940s masked hero fad how they felt. Well, we're pleased, obviously. Very, very pleased. Well, you know, they say he walks through walls and stuff. I'll believe it when I see it. Huh? You knocked them all dead. You've arrived. Have I? Sometimes I feel as if I've been here all the time. I'm there now, in 1960, saying those words, watching that TV set. Now it's June, a charity event with several costumed adventurers attending. Friendly, middle-aged men who like to dress up. I have nothing in common with them. Only the youngest, called Ozymandias, seems interesting. It's November. The newspapers call me a crime fighter, so the Pentagon says I must fight crime. In Moloch's underground vice den, the sighs turn to screams of terror. The morality of my activities escapes me. It's September 1961. John Kennedy is shaking my hand, asking what it's like to be a superhero. I tell him he should know, and he nods, laughing. 2 years later in Dallas, his head snaps forward and then back. 2 shots. In May 1962, a masked man retires to open an auto business. His real name is Hollis Mason. We are talking after a civic banquet in his honor. Dallas is still 18 months away. See this? Almost makes me sorry I'm quitting this ridiculous business. Then why have you chosen to retire now? Is it your age? Partly. I guess it's you. With someone like you around, the whole situation changes. You can do anything. All I got to offer is a good left hook. Nah, I'm better off retiring, writing my autobiography, repairing folks' cars for them. Cars are something I'm happy with. And it'll be a while before even you affect General Motors. Well, the new electric cars should be even simpler. Electric? That's right. They'd have appeared before, but there wasn't enough lithium to mass-produce polyacetylene batteries. Of course, I can synthesize it easily. Anyway, it's been interesting meeting you again. I hope you enjoy your retirement. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too. 18 months away, an electric limousine is pulling onto Dealey Plaza. So, what you're saying is you knew he'd get shot? John, I mean, if you're serious, I mean, why didn't you do something? I can't prevent the future. To me, it's already happening. John, what are you saying? That you know the future? About everything? About us? In 1959, I could hear you shouting here now, in 1963. Soon we make love. Just like that? Like I'm a puppet? Your prediction's way off, mister. No. We make love right after Wally arrives with the earrings I ordered for you. Shut up! You're messing up my mind, John. John, I'm scared. Will you hold me, please? It's 1963. An hour into the future, her sweat cools and dries in the November bedroom. It's 1964. I'm informing the Pentagon that I'll no longer be wearing the whole of my costume. It's 1966. I'm in a room of people wearing disguises. A very young girl sits to my right. She looks at me and smiles. In 1985, my hands are encircling her face. What's the matter? You were staring at that girl is the matter. Now pay attention. She's beautiful. After each long kiss, she plants a smaller, gentler one upon my lips, like a signature. In 1966, the masks are still squabbling. Soon the meeting breaks up. Janie's voice is cold, furious. Outside, Janie accuses me of chasing jailbait. She bursts into angry tears, asking if it's because she's getting older. It's true. She's aging more noticeably every day, while I'm standing still. 1966. It's nice of you to come out on patrol with me. My mom taught me everything she knew, but I'm still pretty new to all this. You pig. I don't know what I should call you. My name's Laurie. Do you have another name, apart from Dr. Manhattan? Yes. My name's John. You tell her. You tell her what it's gonna be like when her face wrinkles up and her boobs start sagging and you're still goddamn 30. It's 1959. Janie is handing me the glass. It's 1966 and she's packing, tearful, careless with anger. The photograph lies in the sand at my feet. In 1969, I'm receiving news of my father's death. In 1959, he's opening a telegram from the military informing him of his son's accidental disintegration. I never correct their mistake. Gila Flats closes down in 1970. On Laurie's 20th birthday, we move into our new Washington apartment. I've revealed my true name to the public. After Father's death, there seems little point in concealing it. In January 1971, President Nixon is asking me to intervene in Vietnam, while 10 years earlier, Kennedy is avoiding any mention of Cuba. Later in November, I'm told that Wally Weaver has died of cancer, aged 34. It's March. I'm in Saigon, being reintroduced to Edward Blake, the comedian. He works mostly for the government now. I suppose I do too. Blake is interesting. I have never met anyone so deliberately amoral. He suits the climate here. The madness, the pointless butchery. As I come to understand Vietnam and what it implies about the human condition, I also realize that few humans will permit themselves such an understanding. Blake's different. He understands perfectly. And he doesn't care. It's May. I have been here 2 months. The Viet Cong are expected to surrender within the week. Often, they ask to surrender to me personally, their terror of me balanced by an almost religious awe. I am reminded of how the Japanese were reported to have viewed the atomic bomb after Hiroshima. It's June. It's October 1985. Deciding to create something, I turn away from stars that may have burned out eons ago. I no longer wish to look at dead things. It's 1975. The papers are full of the president's proposed constitutional amendment allowing him to run next year for a third term. Amidst all this, the unmasking and retirement of Ozymandias goes almost unnoticed. His real name is Adrian Veidt, a self-made millionaire. After retiring from adventuring, he invites Laurie and me to visit him at his Antarctic retreat.
Oh, what is it? It's beautiful.
That's Bubastis. She's a genetically altered lynx.
I hadn't realized that eugenics was so advanced now.
It's leapt forward in the last 15 years. Everything has, from quantum physics to transport, and we owe it all to you. With your help, our scientists are limited only by their imaginations and by their consciences, surely. Let's hope so. His eyes are sad and knowing. It's 1985. Choosing a spot to begin my creation, I sit down. Pink sand lies pooled in my blue palm. This deserted planet, it is so wonderfully, completely silent. In 1977, a city is shouting. Claiming that costumed adventurers are making their job impossible, the police are on strike. Everyone is frightened, scenting anarchy.
Look at that freak. It's against God.
I'd best do something. Pay attention. You will all return to your homes.
Oh, yeah? And what if we don't, you big blue fruit?
You misunderstand me. It was not a request.
Jesus.
August 3rd, 1977. The emergency bill proposed by Senator Keene has been passed. Vigilantism is now illegal again. As long as I continue to act under U.S. government supervision, I am exempt from the law. They can hardly outlaw me when their country's defense rests in my hands. Blake is also exempt. Later, after his handling of the Iranian hostage situation, even his harshest critics fall silent. Laurie still hates him, however. She herself has been forced to retire by the Keene Act, but having never really enjoyed the life, she doesn't mind. Her mother is more disappointed than she is. The new night owl has stated that he will be retiring, although he will not be making his identity public. The only other active vigilante is called Rorschach, real name unknown. He expresses his feelings toward compulsory retirement in a note left outside police headquarters along with a dead multiple rapist. It's 1981 now. Laurie and I are settling into our new quarters at the Rockefeller Military Research Center in New York. Laurie feels we've lost our privacy. She'd like it here. Through my blue fingers, pink grains are falling, haphazard, random, a disorganized stream of silicone that seems pregnant with the possibility of every conceivable shape. But this is illusion. Things have their shape in time, not space alone. Some marble blocks have statues within them, embedded in their future. In New York, we go walking. The streets smell of ozone rather than gasoline. Flat, intangible blots of gray slide across the summer sidewalks, the shadows of overhead airships. In 1959, a child is weeping for its lost balloons. Any moment now, Janie's watch band will break. Somewhere, the fat man is already lumbering toward the shooting gallery, steps heavy with unwitting destiny. It's August 1985. I'm walking through Grand Central Station with Laurie. We stop at the newsstand and buy a copy of Time magazine commemorating Hiroshima Week. On the cover, there is a damaged pocket watch, stopped at the instant of the blast, face cracked, hands frozen. It's Saturday, October 12, 1985, and we are being informed of Edward Blake's murder. Laurie's mood seems restless for the remainder of the weekend. Wednesday, the 16th, Laurie is visiting her mother while I attend Blake's funeral. A thin man in a black coat leaves roses, then walks away. Do I know him? Saturday, the 19th now. My hands encircle Laurie's face. In 1959, I am telling Janie I shall always want her. It's later. Laurie is walking out on me. On a rooftop in the past, I pull her 16-year-old body to me, breathing her perfume, never wanting to lose her, knowing that I shall. Later still, and in the crowded TV studio, I am being accused of killing those closest to me. I am tired of this world, these people. I am tired of being caught in the tangle of their lives. In Arizona, I'm entering the ruined bar with a sensation of deja vu, and I'm taking the snapshot from its broken frame. And I'm gone. Gone to Mars. Gone to a place without clocks, without seasons, without hourglasses to trap the shifting pink sand. Below me, in the sand, the secret shape of my creation is concealed, buried in the sand's future. I am ready to begin. A world grows up around me. Am I shaping it, or do its predetermined contours guide my hand? In 1945, the bombs are falling on Japan. The cogs are falling on Brooklyn, seeds of the future sown carelessly. Without me, things would have been different. If the fat man hadn't crushed the watch, if I hadn't left it in the test chamber, am I to blame then, or the fat man, or my father for choosing my career? Which of us is responsible? Who makes the world? Perhaps the world is not made. Perhaps nothing is made. Perhaps it simply is, has been, will always be there. A clock without a craftsman. I am standing on a balcony of pink sand hardened to glass. It glitters in the 10-minute-old sunshine. The light of 2 hours past will just be reaching Pluto. If they have strong telescopes there, they can see me. The photograph in my hand, falling, lying in the sand at my feet. I am standing on a fire escape in 1945, reaching out to stop my father, take the cogs and flywheels from him, piece them all together again. But it's too late. Always has been. Always will be too late. Above the noticed Gordiai Mountains, jewels in a makerless mechanism, the first meteorites are starting to fall.